something's wrong. I feel it circling like vultures around my brain. Couldn't see the danger in your eyes. Draw me in, got me spinning now like water to a drain. You were perfect till I realized you hadn't shown your face. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your prey. Your lungs are wrecking, you know it's wrong. I was deaf to the ringing bells, wanting me to break, deafened by the sirens' soothing lies. I can't leave, I am in too deep, been sinking for a while, prisoner to the same thing I despise, devoted to a fake. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your prey. Your lungs are wrecking, you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your prey. Your lungs are wrecking, you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break your keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane, living in the dark hasn't treated you well. You're building your own prison cell. Hey, wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Did I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends? We never met, even if you pretend. Am I in your debt? I don't owe you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hey, wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Wait, here. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. Your pawn. My love was in ever again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. You can double down. I'll still be a proud haven for your love is never love. A river through your bluff, I will be enough, enough, enough. My love was in ever again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. Something you can never take, but it's not uncommon to forsake. Got a chronic urge to complicate. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. Feeling I have nothing left to hide. I'll say, but you know it when it's right. Keep it simple now, living it before I die. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. My love was in ever again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the
I think I clicked the right. I did it. I clicked the right
Is
thing.
that the button that makes
I
that
did.
makes us appear on screens?
I clicked
Awesome.
the button and I'm gonna play a little. Yay!
Nice. You could use the soundboard. You know?
Yeah, no, I have a soundboard.
The golf clap.
I currently have 5. Oh, I have that. I think. Oh, I don't. I don't have that. Oh, yeah, I do kind of. I currently have. I have 5 sound effects programmed on my soundboard right now. I know I gotta expand that, but you know, it's a process. It requires 30 seconds that I apparently don't have during my day. But anyway,
Who does?
hello everyone, we're here. Good to see
Hi.
you all. We are back for our little show we like to call OK Seriously, where you ask questions and we give answers. So our guest once again is Green Pants. Green Pants, pleasure for you so much.
Thank you so much again for having me back. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. So we, as usual, have selected carefully. We have curated out of our vast storehouse 5 questions asked by you, our viewers, and we are going to answer them. So yeah, let's get right to it.
And we don't have any real qualifications in order to answer these questions, so that little disclaimer should be given. I have been told that my honorary degrees from several magical universities do not count, and so all I've got is that my Trump University certificate, and that's about it. So
Trump universities. Buddy. Too funny. But yes, it's a
Right.
fair point that we are not, we are not trained professionals
Totally not.
in therapy or any of that stuff, right? And always, if you're having major struggles, you should consult a qualified health professional. But we're gonna give you advice anyway, so take it for what it is, which is entertainment value. So
Fair enough.
let's rock and roll, dude. Let's see what we got here. So our first
Right.
question comes to us from Kelsey from Sweet Haven, Washington. Kelsey says, "My boyfriend and I share an apartment. We've been living together for a little over a year. We have both decided we want a pet, but can't decide what kind. Our building permits cats and dogs under 25 pounds. I was leaning towards a dog or a parrot, and my boyfriend wants a cat. How should we decide what pet to have?"
Okay. Yeah. Right at the outset,
Yeah.
not the parrot. Like you
The
you
parrot.
absolutely you do not want a pet that you are going that is definitely going to outlive you, and that you're going to have to put in your will and bequeath to someone so that parrot can shit on their floor too. Like
Well,
that's not
Yes. I was
so parrot. No.
right, and I was going to raise a point. That's an extra level commitment, right? Because the first thing I was going to say was,
Yeah.
getting a pet together. That's a step in the relationship, whether you think it is or not, right? Because then, what if something happens with you guys? Who gets the pet?
That
right?
is true.
So to Green Pants'
Right.
point, if you got to bequeath the pet and all this other stuff, that's some serious relationship shit. So you got to there's a big step. So good for you, Kelsey. You're really getting serious about this
Right.
guy.
And I, personally, I'm a dog person, but
Oh, right.
right, but I also but at the same time, I do not believe any dog under 25 pounds is a dog. So pugs, Pomeranians, poodles, little chihuahuas, all that shit. Those aren't dogs. I don't
Things
know
that
what
fit
those are.
in the person of the dog.
But yeah, so if you can't have one that's over 25 pounds, a dog is not an option for you. That's fine. I would go. I would think cat, in as much that cats are more like unpaying roommates more than pets anyway. I think. Like and with the cat, if your boyfriend already wants one, then that's something that you guys have, kind of can already agree upon.
Yeah, I don't
already.
want to be enforce a stereotype, but it's very rare the man who actually wants a cat. So it's like.
Really?
And
I don't.
with that said, I'm a
Huh.
cat person. I would prefer the cat, right? But most men I know,
Right.
I'm not gonna fucking cat. Fuck cats. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right,
I know a lot of dudes have cats.
that's great. Single dude.
This guy Vanguard, fucking so many
I have
cats.
I have a cat.
Yeah.
I have 2
No,
cats.
like
I love my cats. But yeah, single dudes have cats.
Um,
Do you know single dudes have cats?
well, when every stoner had a cat. Like in college, there was always the stoner cat. Like Spaceman Spliff, when I was in college,
Spliff,
was
yeah,
the local stoner cat
Stoner
that would
cat,
just hang out at the back of the couch and deeply inhale from as he walked around. Yeah, but I think cats really because you got what ferrets, gerbils, turtles, pigs, frogs, like all that stuff is
Those
like
are children's
things that
pets.
you. Well, they're not even. They're like
Right?
things that you have in your house for a bit until they die. Because it's like oh, I had such great times with my gerbil. Like me and my gerbil, yeah, we were good friends. Like no, come on. If your parent is able to replace it without you noticing, that's not a pet. Like that's and for fish, like if the thing with fish when
Fish
I
are a
had
hobby.
fish,
Fish are not a pet.
right, and having to get up each morning and look and count the fish to see which one ate the other ones, like that, fuck that. That's like cannibal pets. No, thank you. So I would say, if your question is how do you decide, that I would say,
It's aligning towards cat. Is what.
aligning toward cat, and but you gotta agree to it, and you have to also upfront delegate responsibilities and who's going to do what and stuff for the cat and set expectations there, so it's not
Yes.
like, oh, this is your cat,
Right.
this is, you wanted the cat, I never wanted the cat.
Pure fight material right there.
So-
Gotta decide who's gonna clean
Yeah.
the litter box is the worst part of having a cat. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Like you feed the cat, you water the cat. That's it. And you just gotta clean its shit.
But they have like auto cleaning litter boxes now.
They
and
do. They're
stuff?
quite pricey. They're too much more than they should be.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I looked at one recently because we're having a cat. Our cats are stupid because one of them, like, if we used a litter box that's too low, she would get in the litter, but her ass would be hanging over outside the litter, and she would pee on the floor. But she thought she was peeing in the litter
Right.
box because she's like, I'm in the litter. So the other one has
Yeah, see-
some digestive struggles and lays the nastiest craps, like that stink up the and he does the stupid thing where he goes to the side of the litter box and goes like this and thinks he's burying it. Not. he'll do this for 5 minutes. If it still smells, and he basically shrugs and goes, "Oh well, I tried," and then he walks off, and he can't bury it. So it's sitting there on the top, stinks up the whole downstairs. So I think
Okay,
we can
no
benefit.
cat. This sounds horrible. I never have had a cat. This is awful.
Yeah.
I have dogs. My dog is over 100 pounds, so when he
Big
takes a
ass dog.
shit, it's a shit, and you know it
Real.
because you're picking it up with a bag over your hand, turning it inside out, tying it in a little knot, and then carrying it with you on the rest of your walk. So
I can't
all of the
deal.
aliens can see that dogs actually own us because we walk around and carry their
Right.
poop.
That's why
But,
I can't deal with dogs for that. That's one of the big reasons. And the
But
thing, well, the
It doesn't
thing,
bother me at all.
well, with my cat situation, all I need is if you got one of those automated things, what it does is basically stirs the litter, so it kind of like buries
Right.
it. You know what I mean? That's all I need.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be fine.
Oh yeah, it's kind of
So, but yeah, dogs are so much work. It's like, and you can't leave them like you shouldn't leave them alone. You know what I mean? Like if
Of course not, because they're your dog. You
Right.
take them with you, or you have them with a friend or something else. Like, yeah,
But I'm saying dogs
Yes,
like
these are all-
dogs need companionship. You know what I mean? Like a cat doesn't.
yes,
give
they're a
flying,
member of your family. You
Right.
love them.
A cat doesn't give a flying fuck whether you live or die. Actually, at the end of the day, it's like, are you gonna feed me? Great.
How is that a pet? If it's really true that if you die, that your cats would just eat your body,
Yeah,
like that's
3 days. They
then,
eat in
I
3
mean,
days. I think
that-
I read.
3. Okay.
Yeah, if you're dead 3 days, eventually they'll sniff. They're like, "Why aren't you getting up?" And eventually they'll be like, "Oh well, whatever," and they'll start eating you.
Okay. No pets for you guys. Wait, and if you someday get married or not, or just someday find a place where you're allowed to have something over 25 pounds, then get a dog and have a real pet who's a companion and will actually love you back.
I strongly advocate the cat. I mean, dogs are so much work. Again, the thing I was getting about dogs,
And
you need to be
Do
there.
you think a cat loves you back?
I think my cat loves me. I mean, I was being a little.
Okay, the fact that you
over-exaggerating.
hesitated and had to be like, yeah, no.
So
Like,
my
with
cat,
a dog,
I can-
they love you, and
Clearly,
so
no
yeah,
question.
you have
No
to
question.
be, and so part of that is you gotta like be
Gotta
there
be
for
there.
him. You can't leave him alone and stuff.
Right.
But the other part of it is
Like-
you've got this great like animal that like really does like care about the family and stuff, and like has like
Sure.
at least
Sure.
has pretty
But you gotta
know,
fucking walk them. Like, here's the thing I like about dogs. You have to walk
Yeah.
them. They lay massive craps that you have to pick up. And here's my third thing. The behavioral stuff. Like, oh, every time someone's at the door, rah, 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 it's like, shut up. Like, I need peace in my home. Peace and quiet.
you know
Oh,
that you
I
can
Just got
all
the
of these
kids-
things are trainable, right? Like you can like
I can't stand the
when,
barking.
when I
It's
when
like,
I walk
makes
my
me
dog, he doesn't
mental.
Diggity doesn't bark
Ugh.
with that because we
Really? He
trained
doesn't
him
go
not to.
chase other thing? Alright, so the training's important. It's
No,
like,
never. No, you start right when they're a puppy.
Use the clicker.
and like with the
you
electric.
click, 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 click.
Yeah, we don't even
Click, click, click.
we don't even have the electric fence on anymore, but it's never been a problem because
This seems so
you
much work.
just. I mean, yeah, I mean it is, but
And they're messy. There's
It's,
fur everywhere. Like,
Yep.
licking everything. It's
Great.
just like they're. But I love dog. Like, I love being a dog uncle. I will visit anyone else's dog and play and roll around with the dog. I love it. It's fantastic. I just don't want the dog in my
Right.
fucking house. That's my.
all right,
line.
fair enough.
So I don't know. We've gotten out of it.
I
Kelsey,
think we
it's-
answered the question.
It seems like cat's the
You
answer
know-
for you. I mean, Green Pants is saying like, right, anything
Right.
over 20. Oh, or one of our viewers says dogs don't scratch furniture. That's fair, but I believe now.
No,
now-
dogs eat furniture,
Right. So
so
in Silent Life, Mr. Viewer, I believe
I mean,
I've seen dogs eat your furniture. So sure, it's not scratched. It's
and
just
and I will
gnawed
and-
at with
Because
toothmarks.
yeah, I mean, full disclosure, there are pieces of our staircase that are missing and were digested by an animal,
A dog.
and we'll say it was a dog.
Yes.
Now, which one I couldn't tell you, because there's a corner missing from one of the walls. Also, most likely dog,
Okay. Dog
possibly
or
child.
Right. Dog.
but thinking dog. It's really low,
Just like the
right
dog.
there, right at the yeah. It had bite marks,
Right. And I have found a method for training the cats on whatchamacallit, scratching. Like you look at places they're about to scratch. So you got to, when they're new, you got to watch where they go. And if they do, you kind of push them away. And then they got this double-sided tape that's pretty transparent. You put it right there, and next time they go up, they'll do it, and they will hate it, and they will never do it again on that piece of furniture. You know what I mean? Because they hate that sticky thing. So cats can be trained. Yeah.
You know what I love about dogs is you can train them because they want you to be happy. That's
true,
how you
too.
train them.
They're very-
They literally want to please you, and so they do that. I mean,
Very
you do do it
empathic,
with
very
treats and
empathic
stuff, but it's a
creatures.
lot easier, especially with like a golden. It's like they're like, yeah, train me. What do you want?
Yeah, they're very empathic creatures, dogs, no question. Like, sensitive
Absolutely.
to your moods, and they're amazing animals, no question. Again, I just don't want them.
Like if a kid is crying in the house, the dog is going right over there.
Right.
Like that, I don't know if that happens with
They're
cats.
amazing. Like
Maybe
I
it
said,
does.
I just don't want to live with them. Yeah, it's great. So, but Kelsey, but your opinion was again less than 25 pounds, not a real dog. So don't go there,
Correct.
right? So there you go. So
Right.
sounds like
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah.
Kelsey, cat. It's a lot more effort. And when you leave, you can just put food in the bowl, like put extra food in the bowl, and come back over the weekend. That'll be fine. You know, dog not so much. Dog is a little more.
Yeah. No, that would not be okay.
Ah.
Very different animals.
So there we go. And I wanted to,
All right.
Kelsey. So why were your choices dog or parrot? Like those are very different kinds of creatures. That I don't get. That.
Write us back. I would like to know why those two.
Please.
But
Those were your top two. That's what I'm a little out on
Right.
that one. Oh, all right, here we go. All right, let's move on, Great Pants. So
All
we
right.
got
all right.
help me settle an argument with my wife. Oh, this never ends well. Help me settle an argument with my wife.
Awesome. Absolutely.
How important are intentions versus the consequences in weighing the morality of an action? For example, what if, hypothetically, a man went to a casino with the intention of doubling his money to purchase his wife a new car, but he ended up actually losing his money? His intentions were good, so he's obviously morally in the clear, correct? Asks Paul from Goat City, Tennessee. Wow.
Hey, Paul. Sure, I will absolutely help you settle your little hypothetical argument.
Intentions
Um,
versus consequences.
I think I'm going to specifically talk to the context in which you wrote the question. The intentions of the hypothetical person in this example are just objectively stupid. So anyone who goes to Vegas with the intention of doubling your money is either an extremely good criminal or just your average fuckwit. Like
Well, gambling.
I'm
addict,
guessing
one might say, no?
I'm guessing it's probably the second scenario. So in that example, the intentions are irrelevant because the hypothetical person's a fucking idiot. If that happened to that person, then that person deserves to have lost all their money and have their wife leave them.
Mm-hmm.
All.
Wow.
That's my. But honestly, though, I don't think that the relationship between intention and results have some sort of universal universal like constant that you can use to determine a balance of morality like that.
Right. I mean, it's interesting you bring this up, Paul, because this is literally one of the like key questions of philosophy. You study philosophy for like years. This is one of the questions they wrestle with: intention versus.
This is the trolley problem.
Right. It really is. So, like, if you're a fan of like, I don't know, get a little philosophical here. Like Kant, right? Like his theory was basically like moral law, like being like there's a like you can reason morality, and then therefore all rational creatures are moral, right? In theory, are bound by the same moral law. I mean, that's a theory that people go with, right? That seems to have a lot of traction, academic circles, and in that school, I think intentions are prevalent kind of thinking.
Right. But then you have all the philosophy of the trolley problem, which is where you say they stand the scenario they set up is like, okay, there's a trolley going down the tracks. There are out of control. There are 5 workers on the track. There's a lever that you can pull, and if you pull the lever, it will switch the track, and there's a lone worker unsuspecting over there, and he will get killed, but the 5 workers will be saved. Do you pull the lever? Same scenario. You're on a bridge, and there's a very overweight man next to you, and if you push him off the bridge, it will basically stop the trolley so that the 5 people are saved. Would you push the man? So in that equation,
I haven't heard that variation. That's a good one.
Right. Well, and then the other variation is you have a person that desperately needs a heart, someone that needs a lung, someone that needs a liver, someone that needs a kidney, and you've got a guy with a broken leg in the other room. You just take his organs and fix all of those other people and save 5 lives at the cost of 1.
Right.
And so all of those have the same consequence, which is 5 people's lives are saved, but
one person's life.
The getting there is completely different. So most people, if you ask them, they'll pull the lever. That's the thing about it. It's when you pose the first one and say, "Would you pull the lever?" the majority of people say, yes, I would pull the lever. If you say, would you push the man? Absolutely not. The vast, vast majority of people say, no, I would not. I would not do that. Right, because one is an action. One has an intent of like, and it is basically directly causing versus indirectly causing harm.
But that's what I would get at is that even the pulling of the lever, and that's what I was going to say is that really the dichotomous thing, because pulling the lever is the action. So all the scenarios you described, you must take an action to kill less people and save more people. So there is a school of philosophy that says the universe has decided these 5 people in the trolley will die. Who am I to interfere with that action and cause death? You know what I mean? So if you need to take, now if you could do you could do a non-action, like you could do, if you touch this thing, this person will die. You could opt not to touch it and therefore make a moral choice. But some may say that by touching and interfering with the natural order, you have committed an immoral choice.
So that's like consequentialism, where is it that you can't explain why certain actions causing killings are permissible by others aren't. Right. So if you have to be either consistent or not. So yeah.
And when you go down that path, you could rationalize yourself to say, and if I say do an action that in theory will save lives, then I should do it. I'll harm to others.
So in answer to your question, Paul, it's complicated.
Again, philosophers have debated this very topic for centuries. Just to make sure there's no ambiguity here.
You know, I mean, when it comes down to it, most people approve of some actions that could cause harm, and other actions are not considered okay, and it kind of just depends on the scenario, and people are flexible about that kind of stuff, and so there is no universal answer to that.
Right. I mean, personally, I don't know.
Sorry, I cannot help. Sorry, settle the argument with your wife. But I would say, get another job and make that money back, and spend the rest of your life proving you're not a complete moron.
There you go.
Because that is going to require a lot of legwork.
There you go.
So,
I'm gonna hope this is truly hypothetical, like you said it was, and not.
This is absolutely happening to Paul, and
Paul's in the situation right now.
Yes. So I'm telling you, Paul, find another job.
Yeah.
If you're trying to argue that what you did was like the right thing, please stop. I'm just going to say, veer off that course.
I'll actually give an answer. I feel, and I'm not, I'll die hard on this, but I would feel that for the most part, your intentions create your reality, at least in your mind. So therefore, your intentions do have that moral implication, requires evaluation. There you go. My pearl of wisdom.
So if your intentions are, so if you're just an insane person, it's like whatever you do is fine, because that's
everything you need to find is
your reality.
I think any question of morality or choice needs to be involving a person who's rational, someone who's
right. But then you're also discussing what is rational and what is rationality. Like,
and
what
it's
is
not a binary
decision?
either; it's a spectrum, right?
Yeah,
that makes it complicated.
Yeah, no, it's a binary.
You're either insane or you're not.
Yeah. Man, woman, boy, girl. That's it.
Boy, girl. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So Paul, if you really want that, so that was my take. I think intention matters. If you really want to get into it with your wife, fire.
Oh, I absolutely think it matters, but I don't think it absolves you. He seems to be saying like, I'm absolved because my intentions were good, and it's like no.
And it's not true.
I mean, it's not as bad, I guess. I mean, if your intention was to go and just
lose your life savings,
lose my that's worse. Objectively, I guess.
Yeah, go apologize to your wife. And maybe you could buy her a gift. Maybe you could buy her the complete works of Immanuel Kant, and you could actually study philosophy together.
Right.
That would be great.
Exactly. Sell those Beanie Babies.
There you go. All right, here we go. So let's hop our next one here. So so question 3. Okay, here we go. 26-year-old female. Oh, this comes from, by the way, from Olivia from Three-Way, Arizona. Olivia asks, I am a 26-year-old female and have been in several long-term relationships. It always seems to be going well at first, but I always hesitate when things start to turn more serious. I'm filled with self-doubt, unsure if this person or that person is the one. Eventually, all my relationships end because of my feelings. How do you know if you love someone enough to marry them? Ooh.
Okay, Olivia, first of all, you're 26, so that means you've not been in several long-term relationships. You've only not been a child for 8 years. Okay, so slow your roll on the hyperbolics,
Yeah.
and I would really shy away from using terms like all and always because
You have no
26.
context. You have no context.
Yeah,
How
it's
do you know if you love someone enough to
all
marry
of
them?
that.
The fundamental answer is you personally don't. No, if you know
Right.
someone-
When all of your experience is in the single digits, yeah, you don't have enough. There, um, I completely reject the premise of the one. Like there is this needle in a haystack that you're basically like you need to sift through 8 billion other human beings in the
Right.
puzzle to find out that yours is Carl from Home
Right.
Depot.
And statistically
and you
speaking,
ju-
that's not
yeah.
feasible, right? And you spend your entire life searching.
No, it's completely ridiculous.
They probably got hit by a bus
know.
when they were 6. I mean, it's,
That's why like I think the answer I try to take a realistic view on it. So for me at least with getting married, it's like some people will say, how do you love and they'll be like, oh, you just know. I think that's bullshit.
I
When
agree.
you are confident, but to me I say that you're in love when you are both equally confident that that person would post bail for you in any sort of a crime scenario and will always like help you clean up any sort of a crime scene, including murder, with no questions asked. That is love. That is true love. So if you have that, you have the best thing ever.
Hold on to that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was gonna say, I think.
I mean, if someone's willing to go to jail with you, that is
that is something.
that's some love right there.
That could be a good friend though. Could do that.
Right. Right, and especially like if there's a crime scene you have to clean up and you have to like try to explain everything and they're like, oh my God, this blah blah blah. No, you don't want that. You want that person to be like, okay, I see the situation.
Here's what we're gonna do.
I watched this in Dexter.
Right.
We can take care of this.
Go get
Let's
the
some
trash
plastic
bags
sheet.
and the hydrochloric acid,
Yep.
and here's what we're gonna do.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw this episode of Breaking Bad. This is how you get rid of this body.
Exactly. I was gonna
Hopefully
say.
you won't drop the bathtub through the floor.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh right, it's much easier. I mean, I don't know. This is true for a lot of people. I think maybe most, right? It's hard to know the one, and I don't think there is a one. I agree with Green Pants on this, but hard to know that there's someone
Neo.
who would, yeah, right. But it's easy to know what's not the one, right? It's easy to know what you don't want. That's super easy, right? You date someone like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like, him and his freaking Camaro, or whatever. It was stupid the way he chews,
Right.
like make a list of traits, right? This is why you date.
Sure.
Find the things you don't like. Get that right off the list. Now you whittle down your opportunity set. You know what I mean? And then when you meet someone like Green Pants is saying, you look for those traits. Like, are they that person that's there for you all? Ultimately, that's what you want, right? Don't just go with someone because you find them attractive, or it's the stupidest reason to marry somebody, actually.
or that you think they're going to bring you like life stability,
right?
or that you're doing it because like
Yes.
they're
Financial
anchoring
reasons,
your
or-
situation.
Yes.
For, if in any sort of a situation
Or
where
more
you're
reasons.
basically putting yourself into a codependent relationship, like
Yes.
on purpose and on paper.
Don't do it.
That's-
Welcome to many marriages in
it.
America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially many marriages that happen when the person is like when the people are 18 and 19 and they're like, well, we had to get married because it's like, yeah, that was
Hippie did,
terrible.
right.
That was,
It was.
horrible.
It
That
was.
was a terrible idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry about your loveless marriage.
So right. So someone that you could be there for you, you'd be there for them. Someone could envision yourself growing old with. Someone you see as a partner and not like a nemesis. You know what I mean? Someone you do find doesn't have to be the most attractive person.
Nemesis.
Well, someone you find attractive enough that you're physically attracted to each other, that you have sex, that you enjoy having sex together, the sex is good. These are all important factors, right? If you have that and they don't have all the bad traits that you talked about, there's your one. Is it the one? No, it's the.
Right.
Oh, do you have your shirt on today? Is the
No, this is
enough one?
this is Goku.
Oh, I was gonna do.
No,
I
no,
was
no.
gonna
I'm
do a
not. I'm not Knuff
I was
today.
doing a Knuff.
No,
Good.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. I am always Knuff, but I'm not always adorned with
Knuff
my
is.
Knuff
Get that.
short shirt. 'Cause,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to do laundry, man.
I remember pissing off a group of friends once who were sitting there, and they're like, "Well, what do you think about they were talking about because I was in the middle of avoiding getting in long-term relationships, and they're like, "Well, there's the one," and I'm like, "Oh, stop it. We all settle." I kind of said it that way, and they were all aghast, like, "I didn't settle when I married so and so." I'm like, "Except you did, right?" But but it's tough to confront people with
And
that.
now
so
some
I have
hot
to-
takes from Vanguard here.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Because you
but
do,
a lot of-
right? Because you had this ideal, and don't create this ideal you're never going to fulfill. You know what I mean? Like I said, make the negative list. That was huge for me. Like, I waited till later in life to get married, and in some ways it was great, some ways but for the most part I think it was great because I had a good sense of what I figured out about myself. I want a relationship, and I'm like, here's the shit I cannot stand in a partner, right? And that was in my head, and now then I avoided that. And that's it.
Did you burn that list?
Did I burn
Is
that list?
Any guy out there, if you are married and you have a list somewhere of all the negative things that you didn't like, burn that list. That is not something that that should never be seeing the light of day. Writing all that stuff down was dumb, and you need to not have that happen. So
To not see the
that's
yeah.
evidence, and it's also it's just that's.
You always did teach me to
like,
get rid of the evidence. That's a good. That was a good. The good life
I
tip you gave.
I don't know. It's common sense.
No.
It's just come on.
No, but you're right. Go back to Green Pence's first point. 8 billion people in the world. There's not just one for you. That's an absurd thought.
Right.
Like, and with the bad thing I was gonna say about me waiting later is like it wasn't this like, Knight in the Shining Horse romantic. Da 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 da. It's like, oh, this person's awesome. Doesn't have any of the bad traits I want. I love her. She's great. I could see us growing old together. Would be there for each other no matter what. Dependable. Good person. Good heart. You know what I mean? It was like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. This is it. This is the thing.
But they love meth.
But that one thing across the
Is that on your long list of dislikes?
I
You
never-
remember this long dislike list.
I never dated anyone that did meth, so it technically was not on the list.
that you know of. Okay,
No,
fair
I don't
enough.
know, right? Exactly. So there is no one. So stop thinking that way, Olivia, and find someone who you could feel like you're yourself with, someone else. Don't have any of these horrible traits that you learn from past relationships.
And give yourself time, and not you're
26.
you're not you haven't been in several long-term relationships like that you've entered some sort of like a static state that this is the way you are, and there's still a lot of life ahead, so keep moving, and I wouldn't be too worried about this right at the moment.
Agreed. So yes. So hopefully that helps Olivia. Oh, one of our viewers, Super J. Super J's back, by the way. Yo, Super J, what's up?
Hey, Super J.
Yeah, Super J says our likes change after 20 plus years. Of course, yeah, of course, and that's another thing, right? But that's hard to predict. Like, you don't know
Right.
how you're going to grow together, right? That's when people say, "Oh,
Right.
we should stick it out and not get divorced." You know what? Sometimes you grow together. Sometimes you grow apart. It's nobody's fault. You know what I mean? Just live your truth. Be communicative with the other person. Say, you know what? We're in completely different places than we were 20 years ago. Maybe we call it a day, or maybe we define our relationship. Maybe we're just life partners, and maybe we go date.
Yeah.
Whatever. You can make it whatever you want it to be. That's okay. Don't
When
let
the kids are
society
raised,
judge
you become after the kids are raised, you become swingers. Like that's
a lot of opportunities for that.
That was
It's a
pretty
whole
popular in my day,
culture about it.
I've seen key parties, but
I've heard about those. That's where you give the key to somebody who you wish to visit you.
no, what you do is it's sort of. So what you do is a key party in the 60s and 70s, when they were probably most popular, is the men and women drive to the house. All of the men drop their keys in the bowl
For the car.
and then their
Okay,
car keys to their car, and basically each woman, depending on the scenario or whatever, like in terms of the order, just draws keys out of the car, but they're not supposed to really know. All they know is their own keys, but they're not supposed to have looked to be like, oh, I know that's Bob's keys. So they're pulling out random keys, and they're like, who is this? And it's like, it's
You're
that,
like,
and that's the swing, right? And that
got it. But you're always gonna
Mm.
damn, I hope I pull, Bob's keys or whoever's
course.
keys, right? It's like,
Right,
You
everyone
gotta
wants
take
to
the go
pull
with the
Bob's
bad, I
keys.
guess, right? I mean, Bob's hot, right? I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Got tight ass.
we all want Bob. But we got more questions to get to, though.
We do. I'm sorry. You're right. We've strayed a little bit. So, Olivia, what's the summary? Slow your roll. Stop looking for the one.
Yeah,
Look
give
for
yourself
someone who's
time.
enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully that helps. All right, let's go to our next one. So this is number 4? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Liam from Cheesequake, New Jersey. Hey, I grew up near Cheesequake, New Jersey. Actually, I don't know if you knew that. I think you knew that.
Okay.
'Cause you've been there.
It's Chesapeake.
It's technically
It's not Cheesequake.
it's
Chese okay?
today it's pronounced Cheesequake. Back in the day, it was named after
That
the.
sounds like cheese shits.
No, I know, but
Like
it was named after the
it's Chese okay.
It was named after the Chesapeake Indians. The Chesapeake Indians is what the area was named after, and it got morphed
Yeah.
over time by the English into Cheesequake. So,
But ultimately, it means like land that has been cleared, I believe.
it's
in the,
indigenous people removed or something. I don't know.
Well, the indigenous people were the Linilape, Lene Lenape.
You're
in
very up
Cheesequake,
on this.
In
Hold on.
Chesapeake.
Well done. Nice. All right. So anyway,
Yep.
Liam asks, my girlfriend and I live together in a one-bedroom apartment. We both like having music playing when we're laying around the house. However, I physically hate country music. My girlfriend likes it, but it makes my ears bleed. I know patterns of noise are found all over the world, and many of them can be defined by mathematics patterns, and we call it music. But country simply isn't music, right?
Mm-hmm.
She insists on always keeping some in our house playlist. What makes something music versus not? Asked Liam. Multiple aspects to this.
Yeah. I get so the thing like just that it has like a mathematical quality or pattern doesn't really make it music. I think
Well-
music is well, it's the arrangement of it's the combination of like harmony, sound, melody, rhythm, and some sort of creative expression. Like you're basically it's expressive content is I think that is what defines music is like someone is making it
Right.
for a reason.
I would argue that, and I am someone who hates country music with a passion, but I would argue that country music meets the definition that you just.
Right. So
Okay.
yeah, I would say because of that term, the expressive content, country music is technically music, even if it's always about a broken pickup truck and that
Dead
pickup truck
dog
probably
and
has
a wife that ran away
nuts on
and
it.
drinking and a bar and some other stupid
Like I would say
achy breaky heart
about
something.
it?
I don't know.
how about a shared playlist that you guys just put songs that you both like agree on
I have
or
a
styles?
proposal. How about headphones? I mean, call me crazy.
Well, but what I'm thinking is in this situation, because I am in this as well, Mrs. Greenpants likes to have music playing in the house,
I see.
like while dinner is on and stuff like that.
I do as
So-
well. I do as well.
and there-
Actually. That's fair.
Yeah, and so there's a certain playlist with that, and
I see.
there are no songs that have come up where I'm like, I won't listen to that,
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
but yeah, there's normally because sometimes it'd be like, is that? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just like the Apple Music,
Got
you
it.
know,
We did the
ra-
same.
you know, whatever playlist.
We did the same, but Mrs. Vanguard and I typically had the same general tastes with the background music in the house.
Yeah, Mrs. Greenpants and I do not.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I mean, we definitely have our
just,
alternatives. For example, like I do a lot of hard rock. Like whenever the Offspring or
Right.
Ozzy comes on or something, she's like, "What is this? I can't even understand what it means." And I'm like, "You are turning off awesomeness," and I'm upset.
My feeling is that if however you feel about country music, if you're saying it makes your ears bleed, and she's insisting that no, I don't really care, the country needs to be added.
She was
Like
out of this
your
relationship.
relationship is doomed,
Yeah.
and you need to walk away and never look back
I have to agree.
because she enjoys hurting you.
Yes, seriously. If she doesn't understand that it makes you hate it that much and still won't do anything about it, or she won't say, you know what, when I want to listen to country, I'll put my headphones on. Like, what a small gesture that would mean such a difference in the world.
Right.
There has to be other music beside country that she likes. Play that in the house in the background, right? Just like Greenpants said. You know what I mean? It's like, find the music that you like. Make a playlist together. Good bonding exercise. Play that, you know? And she could push the envelope. She could do the early Taylor Swifts and the, what is it, Luke Combs, Fast Car. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I
like,
don't know anything about any of that.
Yes, you do.
There is I know from I know the Oak Ridge Boys and the song Elvira, and I'm aware of Eddie Rabbit, Travis Tritt. I don't know anything.
Surely you've heard of Garth
Uh,
Brooks.
I do know who Garth Brooks is.
Actually, I don't think I can name a song of Garth Brooks. Actually,
I cannot either.
I know.
Except
I feel bad.
I think I have friends in low places. I think that was him.
I got friends.
Um,
low
but yeah, I got-
places. Just the twang makes
Yeah.
me mental. You know what I mean? Like Liam, I'm with you. Like even just that twang, it's like, ugh.
It's okay, but I feel similarly about a lot of jazz. So
We've talked about jazz. Both of us
Right.
both of us
Yeah,
need a band of jazz.
I
or
will
country.
I will take a fiddle over a trombone
Yeah.
or a bad saxophone
Yeah.
any day. Where it's just like, you know,
I appreciate the fiddle actually. It's a talent to play it. You know what I mean? At least like
I really appreciate the banjo. The banjo is very difficult to play,
Agreed.
and it
Steve
has to
Martin,
be
yeah.
like you have to do finger picking, and it's
Yep,
like-
for sure.
it's super hard to even
Oh, totally.
start.
But think of the fiddle, like "Devil Went Down to Georgia," right? That's like a classic tune that could be considered the country genre, right? But I would listen to that song and find it enjoyable.
Right.
Let's cross over.
That's Charlie Daniels band, which most people wouldn't be like, oh, it's a country. They're more of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. They're like a southern band. Like
Southern
it's
rock.
kind of
Yeah, southern rock.
southern rock. Yeah.
Super J
Like
points
Kansas.
out that folk rock actually kind of leans on the fence too, right? You can kind of like
That's
enjoy
true.
folk rock, but
Yeah.
still kind of countryish. So there's some crossover.
Right.
Maybe that's what you do with this playlist, dude. Find that kind of stuff, Liam. Things that you're okay with, country enough for her to be happy, and tell her, hey, you want to listen to your hardcore Travis, whatever name, I don't even know who these guys are anymore. Like, put on headphones, make your own playlist for that and listen to it on your own time.
Yeah, one of the things my own daughter realized about Taylor Swift was listening to all of Taylor Swift's newest songs. It's like, she has her voice, and she put on one of Taylor Swift's very early songs, like our song, and Taylor talks like this, Yeah.
Yeah.
and she's at my boyfriend, and she's like, who is that? I'm like, that's Taylor
That's her.
Swift.
Yeah,
She's like, why is she talking like that? And she's like, that's not her voice. I'm like, yeah, that was.
It was then. Yeah.
And she's like, this music is weird. I'm like, yeah, she started out as country,
Yeah.
and I don't like this. And I was like, okay, yeah,
Fair enough.
this
Right.
isn't the same as
Take it off.
Enchanted. Yeah.
Oh. Right. Yeah, and Somnolent brings up
But-
that the genre has
but now-
changed over
but
the
now
years
that-
with old country versus new country. You know what I mean? Like your your
That's
Edgy
true.
Breaky Heart days versus your Willie Nelson. You know what I mean? Versus like a modern. I don't even know what. It's just like
Oh, and it's a public service, and I absolutely know Super
Dolly
J
Parton.
knows
Dolly
this,
Parton's
but
awesome.
you can watch all of Taylor Swift's Eras tour now on Disney Plus.
Yes.
All 3.5
watch
hours
the
in which she
tour.
plays in which she sings like every single song. She is a superstar.
Even from the country days.
I'm just saying right now, Taylor Swift, awesome. Like, yeah.
No, I enjoy her. I'm a Swiftie. I
Yeah,
get it. I wouldn't
yeah.
have liked her early country songs, but I like all of her modern stuff.
Yeah, I'm just saying that she literally is her own industry.
Oh my
Like
god.
the amount of jobs and stuff that she just creates on her own with the
Seriously.
tour. I mean, it's like
influence she has.
it's like
Yeah, totally.
thousands and thousands. It's like
Yeah,
it was like
totally.
it was something like the amount of money her tour, like the Eras tour. It was something like $1.8 billion of between the drivers and the stadiums and and it's of all of the people
Amazing.
and the setups and all that. It's like
He's
it
employing
was
small
its
nations,
own. It was
like-
its own little nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Running
its
its own
own
nation.
national economy.
Yeah.
It was just the Eras tour.
Yeah. But and someone also points out Dolly Parton, and yeah, absolutely. There's some Dolly hits that I will listen
Yeah.
to and enjoy, right? I mean, but she's clearly a country artist. I
Right.
consider her a crossover artist in a lot of ways. Sure, for sure. So there you go. So right, but to get to the root of your question, I think Green Pants, you nailed it, right? It's basically noise. Like if you want to look at it from a physics perspective, music is fundamentally a kind of periodic sound, with pattern, and noise is unpatterned, unperiodic. Think of white noise. Like when you turn on static, that's noise, right? It has
Versus
pattern.
what? But
If it has pattern and rhythm to it, it becomes music. It doesn't even need harmony.
but
necessarily.
that's-
You
I
could do a
disagree.
single
I
melody. You
don't-
could do a
I
single
don't-
melody line. It's music.
no, I don't agree. I think it does not count as music unless it has expressive, creative there's an expressive content. There has
I think
Like,
if you stand there
because
and just
if-
go, that's music.
right, but that you're also doing that with your voice,
With intention.
with an intention.
I see. So
Yeah.
intention matters. in
opposed to
music is what you're
just-
saying. Being
Right,
philosophical again.
for example, the sounds that a machine makes, even if it's a cool pattern, cannot be music because it's not. There's no intentionality
And
behind it.
EDM,
There's no creative.
an EDM band will sample that shit and put it in the backing track.
Right, but again, that adds the creative intent.
Fair.
Soon as
Fair.
a person takes it, makes a choice, now it's music. What I'm just saying is things out in nature are
Oh.
not music.
So it
To
requires.
be music
So a human has to take it and make
requires
it an intentional
yes,
thing.
correct.
That is a very
music
I
theory,
didn't
at
really
least,
think of it that
is
way.
how
I
I
didn't really
was-
think of it that way.
That's how I was taught, was like music is a human invention. Now, birds and animals have their own form of stuff, and they have
Songs,
similar
right, like
things.
a bird song.
But like what
Bird song is not music there, therefore?
there's
Whale song?
in that, but in those, a human being though is still like getting an emotional feeling from, you know what I mean?
I
It's like
see.
anthropomorphizing.
Or
So
they're-
it
or
kind
they're
of like falls to the cracks.
Presenting
there.
it to others, like listen to this bird song being presented
Yeah.
and it's being understood from a human perspective. I hear what you're saying.
Right. The difference is supposed to be like the sound of the sound of a factory is like not music, even if it has a rhythm to it, because it's
Right.
like, you know, at least that's normally the example
Ooh,
of like the not music.
Right. The deep question has come up is what if AI does it instead of dun 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 dun.
Not music.
Dun, dun. I contend that it is because the AI is duplicating what the human would have done. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun.
Okay, you know, that's true. Yeah, but the definition, because all the content is already, they're just yeah. Right. They're just creating music off of other music that humans intentionally created.
I think if either the presenter
Because-
of the music or the case of the bird song, I think is going. So if either the creator of the sound or the listener of the sound finds creative expression and feeling in it, it makes it music. So if an AI created it, but a human
Yeah.
listens to it and goes, "Oh, that's nice," you know what I mean? That's
And I think a lot of times animal songs count because the animal also has intention.
right.
Like they're making the sound to communicate
Usually to
or whatever that
fuck is
they're
what their
doing.
communication is.
Right. As opposed to, you know, just noise in the environment that
Right.
has no, you know, intentionality, like noise of a volcano, not music.
Right. But
Bird song, music.
And Sumlin says subjective to each person. Yes, agreed. But I think the definition that we're applying is if it's subjective to any person, whether
Yeah.
a
Right.
bunch of people
right,
like it or
exactly.
not.
That's
You know, it's like
right.
if it has a level of subjectivity
But that-
to it, it makes it music, even if it's bad.
Right. Which is why in this example, if we're saying country music, we don't like it, but in this example, it's still music because it does follow this. So we agree that it's music, even if it's terrible music.
I hope we settled this. So Liam, I hope this, you know, you and Cheesequake there, and say hi to my old stomping grounds. But yes, make a playlist together that has some country crossover stuff,
I say,
and then tell her
okay.
to listen to her. Tell her to listen to her, whatever's her Travis's. I don't even know the names of these guys anymore. But
Eddie
on
Rabbit
her
and Travis.
headphones.
I don't.
I have no idea.
Those were guys my dad had in his collection. So
Yes, 100%. So all right, cool. So,
All right.
all right. So last question. So
question 5.
oh my god. Mila from Kickapoo, Kansas says, I'm a really awkward person, but tell me if the situation is normal. A male friend came over, we hooked up twice before, and after having sex, he took a nap in my bed. I went into another room, but once he woke up, he got up to leave, and before he left, I gave him a thumbs up. Then he stuck out his hand, and I shook it, and then he patted my head. I was confused and gave him another thumbs up. This was all done in complete silence. I can't stop cringing every time I think about this moment. He's ghosted me ever since. Was that normal?
Mia, what is normal anyway? I mean, he's living in a place called Kickapoo. Normal? Okay. To me, it sounds like you had what's called awkward sex,
Yes.
and since you are an awkward person, self-described, you had perfectly normal awkward sex. Perfectly normal awkward sex that ended in some raised thumbs, a handshake, and a head pat. I have to say, from personal experience, 2 thumbs down is a hell of a lot worse. So, you know, that's really awkward. So I would say you had awkward sex and you're an awkward person. So all of your sex is always going to be awkward. Enjoy whatever sex you have. You don't put too much thought into, is it normal or awkward?
Yeah, right. So is it normal? No, but a good chunk of it's from you. Like I'm kind of piecing the scenario together. I'm guessing, she was in another room. He woke up, got up to leave, gave him the thumbs up. Then he went over to her, stuck out his hand. I'm gonna guess if you were sitting down, I believe his hand extension was to motion you, lift you up, so he can embrace you and perhaps kiss you. You instead shook his hand. So he thought
That I think you're onto something
right.
there.
So he thought,
Yeah.
that's odd. Okay, fine, whatever. And he said, well, if she's doing this cute thing,
he
I'll do a
shook your
cute
hand
thing.
and patted you on
Pat
the
your
head.
right?
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, we're being odd, whatever, right? And then that's kind of what ended the scene. So I think he was trying to pick you up to actually doing normal kind of physical interaction with you, like a
Right.
hug or a kiss, right?
But being an awkward person, you made it
You
awkward,
would not realize, right?
which you're gonna do as a self-described awkward person.
We're
So,
glad that you led with
mean-
that, the fact that you're an awkward person.
right, because as an awkward person, expect to have awkward sex. Like if you're gonna like have sex awkwardly because that's who you are. You know what I mean? So get used to this kind of stuff, Mia, because this is your life. I mean, come on! It's like
And Mia, if he ghosted you,
she's
what-
saying, "Is this normal?" She's like, "I'm awkward. Is this normal?" Hey, for an awkward person, yeah, sure. You know,
right?
whatever.
Yeah,
Nothing bad happened. No one was hurt. No one's consent was violated or anything. No, so
right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Awkward and normal.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the awkwardness was from you, right? And I think he's just kind of reacted, you know. And actually, sorry, but he's probably not really your friend, male friend. You put it in quotes, so at least you realize that he's not your really your friend. The fact he's
Oh
ghosting
well,
you
if
isn't
she put it
cool.
in quotes,
Yeah.
I think that's a
Friend.
meaning because there's no other term. It's like an acquaintance, you know,
Right.
or also someone she fucks on the side. I
Right.
think that's the friend. Like
yeah,
I have a friend, you know.
that we
yeah.
just happen to have, and we don't talk in between. We just
Right.
It's-
Right.
It's like,
It was
Oh,
all
yeah.
done in complete silence. That part makes it extra cringy, which is nice. It's just like that. All this was just they
Exactly.
depart, and it's just
exactly. And I don't know if that's the
nothing.
thing that I don't think that's
no music of any kind.
even if it went down the way we're suspecting, I don't think that's enough for having to ghost you. He's probably going to ghost you anyway, which is unfortunate, but kind of is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was not a normal exchange, and mostly it was because of your awkwardness. So sorry to say that to you, but just communicate with people. I think it's something you should work on. On your horizon.
Right, and in the end, though, who really cares? Like it's yeah, sure, it was awkward, but yeah, it's an experience. Now
And you
you have
hopefully
something you
learn
know
from it.
right. And when you give birth to his child, make sure that you explain to that child exactly where he came from.
And let me tell you about that time, Timmy. The daddy patted me on the head.
Mm-hmm. You were conceived with a handshake, a thumbs up, and a head pat.
Oh
like
my
that's
Yeah, Mila,
Yeah.
Mila, you kind of kicked it off. So when he comes out of the room after you had sex, like normal thing is to say, "Hey, good morning. How'd you sleep? Glad you stayed over. How you feeling?" Right? Instead, just like that's just weird. You know? I'm sorry, but
yeah.
yeah.
But hey, Mia, you're awkward, so great.
I know she did lead off with that.
perfectly
It's
normal
hard to- it's
situation
hard to
for you.
knock her on that. That's what she led off on.
Yeah.
All right, Mia. So hopefully that helps. Please work on that and give us updates. You know, next time you enter a relationship, we're very curious to see how this unfolds. Honestly,
Yeah.
but
That was a great story. So
yeah, no,
love,
it
to,
was- it
love
was
to hear
very
more
good.
of your awkward adventures.
Yes. Oh, dude, it's time for speed rounds.
All right, I think we're at speed round.
Yeah,
Yep,
speed rounds.
You're
so
up though.
it's
This time.
okay. All right. I'm not
Yep.
fully prepared, but I will make myself prepared. That's what speed round's about. You don't know what's coming. It
Yep.
just comes out of nowhere. So for those who are not
Timer on the
familiar,
clock.
speed round is going to be a quick 5-round questions that need to be answered within 1 minute. So again, I'm up. So I need to answer these questions within 5 minutes. I'm going to set up our timer here.
No, 60 seconds.
60 seconds on the timer. Oops,
At
nope,
5
I
minutes.
hit the wrong. Oh, sorry. No, I don't get 5 minutes. I get 1 minute. 60 seconds.
Hi, what is this,
So-
a debate? What is it? You have the floor?
I'm negotiating. It's like
No,
I forgot I had
60
speed-
seconds.
I forgot I had speed round. I wasn't prepared. Oh my god.
All right, well, get
So-
prepared.
Yeah, no, I'm getting myself into the zone. I gotta like just keep within myself, know yourself, and all will be well, kind of whole thing. All right. So, all right, and the timer will start as usual, Green Pants. After you finish reading the first question, I will hit this magic button. So,
Yep.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. If you had your own late night talk show, who would you invite as your first guest?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Who is your childhood actor actress crush?
Oh, Linda Carter. Wonder Woman.
What's the weirdest food you've ever eaten?
Oh, jeez. Probably chocolate covered grasshopper, I guess.
Okay. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh. This is a tough one. I have a little bit of time. I can think about this one. It's what would I do? It would be live your own personal truth. Your own personal truth.
What fictional family would you be a member of?
Oh, probably the Drummonds from Different Stroke. So
All
there
right,
you
is
go.
that
That's it.
I think.
Boom! I got 5 seconds to spare. I had to
All right.
and everything. Nice. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah. All right. So let's.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I love.
one fact?
I love. I was a big fan of Carl Sagan back in the day. He was.
Oh my God, yeah,
he positioned
Cosmos.
himself as a
Such a
science
great-
educator. You know what I mean? He's like, let me take these complex
Mhm.
subjects and explain them to lay people, right? And even when I
Yep.
got into science and was no longer a layperson, I loved how he did that. So I would always watch him. You know, learn something from that. And Neil deGrasse Tyson's kind of
And
picked
his
up the
book-
torch from him.
Like he had episodes of Cosmos, and the chapters of the book like went along with each episode. Like it was,
Right.
yeah,
Love that,
that
love
was
that.
awesome.
Great book. So, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson, yeah, he did such a good job communicating science and his approach to things and his demeanor and how he explains stuff and getting people interested in science. And I just love it. So I would talk to him for hours, probably.
Yeah, see, I definitely would have a separate tech. Like if I was somehow got my own show, I would use that as a vehicle to lure in my like worst enemy, so that when they were on stage and giving some sort of anecdote,
Yes.
I could just
Humiliate
give
them.
them, just no, just like literally stab them, like
Oh.
it would be an opportunity
On air.
I mean, imagine
With the
yeah,
cameras
you're just
rolling.
like you have like, hey, yeah. I mean, because you're yeah. Like, is it worth going to prison? Sure. I mean, it depends on who it is. Is it the guy who anyone who had anything to do with Cars for Kids? If you have the opportunity to kill one of those people, it's worth going to jail for.
It sounds like something
That's true.
It sounds like a variation of the Eric Andre show. That's what you're describing. I refuse to guess.
I suppose.
All right, what else?
Yeah,
do
I
we
don't-
have here?
What your childhood crush, Linda Carter?
Oh my God.
Good,
So
my-
hot.
my-
And when she would
Mine
eat-
would be
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I said mine would be Phoebe Cates from Fast Times
Fast
at
Times
Ridgemont
at
High.
Ridgemont, the scene of her getting out of the pool.
She was in Gremlins.
Unbelievable.
Really-
Like, God.
The
Unbelievable.
the,
She had
my,
no
my favorite
idea.
thing
She
about
had no idea. She literally changed the world with that scene, and she had no idea. Even later in life.
well no her whole story that she began with was remember the Blue Lagoon came out,
Yes,
and that had
Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields in it. So Phoebe Cates' first film was The Blue Lagoon with Phoebe Cates and Willie Ames. Greatest American Hero.
Yeah, I know you don't. No,
Like,
William's not
so,
Greatest
yeah.
American Hero. No, William Cat was
Wasn't
Greatest
he?
American Hero.
Oh, William Cat.
William
That's
Ames
right.
was
So,
was Scott Baio's buddy on the Chachi show, not the Chachi show, the
yeah.
Charles in Charge.
Okay.
Williams,
So
yeah.
so Willie Ames. It was Willie Ames and Phoebe Cates. It was like a 1980. It was a Canadian movie, and it was basically a ripoff of The Blue Lagoon, made a year after
I didn't
that
know
did
that.
really, really bad, and it had a whole lot of naked scenes in it. And there had been some disagreement about like how much nudity should have really gone in. So Phoebe Cates did all of her own nude scenes, and then they weren't supposed to be in the movie, and a lot of them were. And she wouldn't do any press for the movie, and she thought it was like the end of her career and all that stuff.
You
So
saying,
that's
are
like
you
how
saying
Phoebe Cates
there's
started.
nude scenes of a young Phoebe Cates out there that outside of Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Have you not watched The Blue Lagoon?
I'll be right back. Okay, I'm
I
kidding.
cannot-
I'm kidding.
yeah,
We're
okay.
back.
No,
It's just a joke. We're not-
But you're absolutely gonna go watch it after this. I know that.
After this, I don't lie. I'm gonna go look for those scenes after this. It's no question. Absolutely.
But they might actually have been erased from the internet now because
Nothing
she
gets
was actually
erased from the
17 when they
internet.
filmed it. And
Oh,
that
is
is
that true?
But okay,
Was she 17?
Yeah.
Mm.
yes.
And
Yeah,
moral
well, you know,
ambiguity.
it was
back
a
to our
different
earlier
time.
Question. It was a different time. 17
We're always
is
saying
17.
we're always saying it's, but we're always calling 17 a child, so it depends.
Damn it!
You know?
Now I can't. Now I can't do it. I can't do it because, as we discussed, the morality of intention matters.
That's only if you care
Ugh.
about consistency.
I do.
So
I like to be.
whatever.
All right, fine. All right, what else do we have here?
Oh, weirdest food you've ever ate?
Yeah,
Chocolate covered
I've had the
grasshopper?
chocolate grasshopper. Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, you know
I've
what?
seen-
When in Rome.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that for like I've had like bear and turtle
You
and
have?
like
Okay.
escargot. Like I've had snails and all that kind of stuff. The worst thing ever was uh, that I was offered but didn't eat because I had already thrown up in my mouth, and that was balut.
I'm not familiar.
Do you know what
Do not.
Bealut? Why don't you look it up? What is a balut?
Why don't you explain to
And so a balut was handed to me. The balut was boiled.
There's people named
and
Balut.
I was
I
given
can't find the thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Balut, B-L-A-U-T.
okay a balut, Bealut.
Okay. Oh, it looks disgusting. Oh,
It is
it's the dead bird. It's the
It's a
thing in the egg.
developing. It's a developing bird embryo that you
I see that.
boil and then you eat out of the shell.
That's horrible.
This was presented to me in someone's home.
You're obligated to eat if it was served to you.
I thought so too.
Wow.
I threw up in my mouth,
Wow.
had to swallow it, and I couldn't do it. And
Viewers,
it was like,
if you haven't BLAUT space food and hit images, you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It is absolutely disgusting. It's like an embryonic duck in a half broken egg supposed to somehow eat.
yeah, I mean, no, it's what happens when it's an egg that is
That's-
fertilized and has an embryo in it, as opposed, yeah.
Is
It's exactly the kind of egg you don't eat. Those are the eggs you don't eat, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh yes, we
right.
do.
These are the ones we're supposed to throw away. But
Yeah,
we
exactly.
do. Of course we do.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, there's one wonderful.
Wow. That is nasty. Okay, if that would
And
yes,
I think
that would have won if I was
that,
if
so
I
that,
had
that was the
note.
weirdest I didn't eat. For me, it also might be a jar of hot peppers.
Okay.
But the important thing about remembering, if you consume an entire jar of hot peppers,
Yes.
like depending on your metabolism, you're gonna have what they call flamethrower ass
Yes.
for like
Call the
48 to 72
burning,
hours.
Burning black ribbon of fire. Is what-
Right. And yes, and like it's all a lot of it depends on how robust your sphincter is, and you know how healthy your colon has been, and you know, so there's yeah, if you have a robust sphincter, you can get through a hard hot pepper, hot pepper rings with a lot less discomfort. The thing is to keep at it, just keep doing it, and keep doing it to your body until your body says, "Fine, I'll just accept this." That's
You just keep going until it
My advice.
happens.
the best piece of advice I was ever given, I would say, I think, and it can all be summed down is, no one actually cares.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And so
I knew you were gonna say it.
because it was like it was someone that said, he's like, hey, when you're sitting there and you're thinking and you're rethinking
Right.
some like old conversation that's like keeping you up at night,
Doesn't matter.
or like some resentment that you have, keep in mind that the other person has absolutely no idea,
No idea.
does not care, and is probably getting a blowjob. So you are put down the rock, you're wasting your time, no one actually cares.
Right.
It's like, you're right. It was one of those things where it was actually helpful to be resentment, because it was like, hey man, you're carrying all those resentments. Why? Because none of those people even know.
Does not matter.
So
Right. And most of your
like-
problems, most of the problems are you problem. Yeah, it's the thing where you gotta let the small stuff go. There's a whole bunch of popular life advices that go that. But what did I say? I said was like, oh, know your truth. Yeah, my thing was know your truth, because I really believe that like most people get into trouble in life because they don't know what the hell they want. You know what I mean? Or they don't know why they react a certain way because they're afraid of dark things within themselves they refuse to admit. You know what I mean? So
what if you want genocide?
then you have a mental illness. Get it treated.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
So my whole thing is like, if you truly know yourself and accept your thoughts and yourself and how you are and like who you are, everything else can fall into place. So I can kind of consider
I mean,
a
there's-
bedrock of happiness for life.
But I think it's also important that one not completely adjust their truth to make it so anything is permissible. It's like, because I know certain people who are objectively assholes that will
Sure.
just say, that's just who I am. That's just the way I am, or I'm old school. No,
Well-
you're mean.
Right. But let's go back.
That's different.
Let's go back. Now we're gonna loop it around. We're gonna go back to Kant, where he claimed that rationality. Kant. I'm sorry for that.
Immanuel Kant.
Immanuel Kant
Yes.
is
Oh my God.
rationalization, right? Is the basis of morality. You know what I mean? Moral
Right.
action, justified with reason, kind of thing. So there you go. But you're right. You can't just say I'm gonna be an asshole just so I am. No, I know that, right? But it's like
Right, because
look at yourself.
it is a common thing where it's just like that. Yeah, you know what? I'm
It's just
just a
me,
very
right.
I'm assertive. It's like, no,
So
you're
you're
just
a
like super
dick.
rude to all the
Right,
waitresses.
exactly.
Like, no, I'm assertive. I know what I want,
Exactly.
and I want to get what I ordered. And it's like,
Right.
you're being terrible.
No, you're right. So I guess you gotta frame that truth thing in a moral context. You know what I mean? Be a morally true person. How about let me say that? Right? And conduct yourself.
Right. So
yeah.
so you'd join the Drummond family?
Yeah. Dana
Is
Plato.
it only so you could bang Dana Plato? It is so you could bang Dana Plato.
Dana Plato.
See, I would have said the Jetsons because they were just cool. They had bubble cars, and Space Loose Sprocket seemed like a
That's fair.
decent place to work.
Poor George, all he did all day was push
Rosie,
a button. He had no skills whatsoever.
Right? No. That's what I'm saying is I'm a member of that family. Yeah, all the family. But if you could just pop me in there into, Rosie could be reprogrammed to do
like sex bot.
all sorts of things. All sorts of things. In this future. If they obviously conquered the space-time continuum because they were able to shrink something. His car was able to fold up and take up less space.
That's true.
Than it did originally.
Like
it
literally
defied physics. It went down to the quantum level. So, and the other thing is the Jetsons was all Googie architecture. So that's also kind of like. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I would be concerned, yes, but I would be concerned that you, again, their homes, right? They all floated, right? So you're kind of dependent. Did they float,
they
or were they on big poles?
They didn't float. No, they had big poles, and they were up above the clouds.
But still, a lot of potential to die. Like you step out of your front door in the morning, you get the paper, and you stumble, and you fall out of your house hundreds of feet to your death.
They never. It seemed like everyone was like they had all these safety things that if you fell, something would catch you. Like if they
and I think the impression
I watched every episode and no one died.
I did too. Yeah.
So
I get the impression they live that way because they were kind of trying to convey that like the world is so overpopulated that people need to live at different altitudes in order to fit all the houses. You know what I mean? There's like some down here, some on medium sticks, some on high sticks, and kind of went.
Well, it was actually designed as just to be what a companion for the Flintstones.
Right.
We were like, we have Stone Age family, so we want to have like future family, and just like,
of course,
do the same thing.
I mean, that's what That's what I would come up in the writers' room if I was in the Hanna-Barbera writers' room.
Right.
I would say, hey,
right,
we've done past family, let's do future family. And then there was I remember Kazoo brought Flintstones forward to the Jetsons era.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I always like that Googie architecture, which is like the futuristic architecture.
Yep.
There was a place called like Googie's Coffee Shop. It was on Sunset.
Yeah.
Well, even the term on Sunset Boulevard, there was a place called Googie's Coffee Shop, and it was the way it was designed had that like Pop Lux aesthetic to it, and it sort of started with the upswept roofs, and everything was like curvilinear and like had like neon and like gold and like with the metal and glass and all these geometric shapes and stuff like that. Like you were like, okay, yeah, this was,
and a lot of like Tesla coil,
a lot of road signs
like
and
with
stuff.
with the discs on a pole going up to a ball. Look at things like
anything that was it was like futuristic or could be perceived as that. So like that'd be like a Tesla coil. I mean, all that kind of stuff. A parabola. Like because like a sine wave, shapes. Whatever. Like, it's something that looked mathematical. It was like, oh, that's the future.
Cool. Well, there we go. I think we covered it all, right? And we talked about Linda Carter already. Who was yours again?
Yes.
Phoebe Cates. Oh, yeah. We talked. Of course. Ah, shit. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Don't
make me look.
Customs Ridgemont.
Don't make me look.
I'm not. No one's making you do anything, Vanguard. Up to you.
All right. I'm not gonna do it. I'm going to be the moral person and not do it. There we go.
Okay.
So with that, that's it for this episode. We're gonna wrap up, and I think this was great. We maybe a few minutes over time, but we're still pretty in the ballpark. So, Green Pants, I think we learned a lot tonight.
We did.
I learned
think,
about blout. I didn't know about blout until tonight, so that's something I
blout?
didn't need to know, but now I do.
You were corrected on Cheseoke and calling it cheesequake, which is very derogatory to the indigenous people.
And what is up? I had multiple pronunciations, and then I said can't instead of can't. It's like, what is my deal tonight?
I mean, the indigenous people in New Jersey, before it became like a factory for Goombas and oil refineries, like there were indigenous people. Yeah, like before it was like gym tanned laundry and just
Wawa. Wawa was very popular.
Yeah, it was the indigenous people, and so we should respect their culture and not call it cheesequake. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
That does sound like cheese shits to me. Like, oh man, it gives me a cheesequake. It's like, oh, they did, yeah.
Oh, Dan's Hardware is here. Dan, take exception to us throwing out the phrase Goomba. Oh, there are worse terms.
Well, I mean, only a Goomba wouldn't like it, so yeah, that's fine.
Throwing down with the viewers at the end of the show. Okay.
No, the worst Portuguese Goombas.
Oh, see,
wow.
You went there. You went there.
Man, Portuguese Goombas. Don't get me started.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, on that note, we're going to sign off. So, thank you all for coming. Send your questions. Your questions are underneath underneath Green Pants.
Under here.
Yeah, they're underneath him down there. Go to the link and say submit a question. It's a Google form, submit the question.
Yes.
You can make it anonymous if you want. It's not a big deal. We thrive on your questions, though, like our lifeblood, right? You send us questions and we get joy out of that. And hopefully you do too. And hopefully learn a little something. So that's our intention.
I always do.
That's right. But until next week, so 9:30 Eastern US time, Tuesday, we'll be here again. Green Pants and I will be answering our next set of 5 questions. And remember, every Sunday.
So are you already telling me that I'm going to be the special guest next week?
Shit! I didn't want to break it to you.
You're not. Okay.
It's you.
I have a feeling I'm going to be back next week. Okay. All right. Cool. Dude, making me wait is not cool. Okay.
I know.
You just let me know at the end of each. Just tell me, don't make me wait until
he's fair,
right before on Tuesdays.
He's fair about this. Like normally, like tonight, I told him like 10 minutes before he was on the show, and he was like all like.
It's like
he was thrilled but upset. It was like kind of that mixed reaction thing. So
rightfully so. Just I deserve a little notice.
And we all got shit to do, so I get that. I gotta be better at that.
Well, and I'm always here to help, but I need to be in the proper zone.
And we appreciate you being in that space and serving that role. And so we'll catch you next week. So thank you guys again, and we will.
Good night.